Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you how to easily invest $200 per month. So let's jump right in. Hey everyone, this is Lauren Mack with Hacking the Rat Race, and I would love for you to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos on money, saving, and investing. I would just like to say before we get started that I am not a financial advisor, I am not a CPA, this is not financial advice, and however you decide to invest your money, you should always talk to a financial advisor first. Today I am going to tell you how to easily invest $200 per month. So the first way to easily invest $200 per month is in investing in your emergency fund. And I know that's not sexy, it's not fancy, and people think that is not investing. But oh, if you don't have an emergency fund, it is definitely investing. It is so important. And here's why. If you don't have an emergency fund, an emergency happens, which it will, and they do all the time, then you're left with putting it on a credit card. And then you're paying, on average this year, 20% interest on that emergency for however long it takes to pay it off. So again, that would be the opposite of investing. If you don't have an emergency fund, you have an emergency and you put it on credit. So the recommendation is that for your emergency fund, you should have 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved up in case an emergency happens. And in the crazy economic times we're in right now, that is so important. And again, if you don't have an emergency fund and you're going to be putting your $200 a month towards it, I highly recommend you checking out my 100% free 30-day emergency fund savings challenge. I will link to it above in the show notes below, but it's 30 days of putting $500 in your emergency fund, and every day you're gonna get a tip on how to save money. So this $500 does not have to come out of your budget. You're gonna learn savings tips so that you can take money that's already in your budget, save it, and put it in your emergency fund. But for the sake of this video, if you're looking to invest $200 a month and you have it to invest, then definitely invest in your emergency fund until it is full. So the second way to easily invest $200 is going to be paying off your debt. And I know what you're thinking, still not sexy, still not cool. I don't need to do that. That is not investing. However, it is investing because you are paying, like I said right now, the average for a credit card annual percentage rate is 20%. So if you pay off your debt, you are automatically getting a 20% return on your investment, which is a large return on your investment. I will tell you that most investors, probably everyone, would jump on a guaranteed 20% return on your investment. And here's the thing, let's just say you do have credit card debt and you think, I don't care, I'm not paying that off, I'd rather invest my money. Okay, the stock market average historical returns between 8 and 12%. Let's just say you get 12%. Well, if you're paying 20% on your debt that you have not paid off, even if you made 12%, let's just say you were amazing and you made 15%, you still have -5%. That is not an investment strategy. So the first thing to do is get your emergency fund, then pay off your debt and get that automatic return on investment of whatever your credit card interest rate is. Seriously, for some people, that could be 27%. 27% return on investment. So the third way to easily invest $200 per month, first, investing up to the match of your 401k. So if your employer matches 3% of your salary each month, then definitely be putting in 3%. That is literally a 100% return on your investment for doing nothing. So if your employer has a match and you're not putting that much money in your 401k, then at least put the $200 in your 401k or up to the match. Now, I'm not saying put all of it. Let's just say the match equals $150 a month. Just put to the match. And then I'll tell you why in a second you may not want to put more than that. But again, the match is 100% return on your investment. So to easily invest $200, definitely hit the match. Now, Lauren, why not put all of the $200 in my 401k? Here's why. Because oftentimes management fees of 401ks are fairly high, especially considering investing in something like an ETF, which oftentimes has much lower investment fees. So I would definitely invest to the match, and then I would do your research. Let's just say that's correct. Let's just say the management fee on your 401k is 0.5%. That's actually not too high, but you can do better. So if it is is a higher management fee than, say, an ETF, which is normally about 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, if it's higher than that, then I would go somewhere like Schwab or Fidelity and open up an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, or a Roth IRA, which is also an individual retirement account. The difference is with a regular IRA, you don't pay taxes on the money you put in. So let's just say you put that $200 a month into that IRA. You won't have to pay taxes on that $200 now. However, when you take the money out at the end at retirement, you will have to pay taxes on that money. With a Roth IRA, you'll have to pay the taxes on the $200 now. Whenever you take that money out at retirement, you won't have to pay taxes on it then. There are advantages to both, but either way, through a Roth IRA or a regular IRA, you can invest in index funds through ETFs, which have very low management fees and again just track sections of the stock market. If you're interested in finding out what is best in index fund, ETF, mutual funds, things like that, I have another video called Mutual Funds versus Index Funds versus ETFs. Which one is the best for becoming a millionaire? I'll link to it above and in the show notes below. So you can check that out if you're wondering what am I talking about for ETFs and how they work. Definitely check out that video. But for your 401k, I would invest up to the match. I would look at opening another retirement account and either getting index funds via mutual funds or ETFs. And again, regardless which one you choose, including even putting more money in your 401k than the match, just look at the management fees. You may be lucky and have a 401k which has super low management fees. If that's the case, then go ahead and invest the difference in your 401k. Just make sure you look into that before you invest, because the difference in those management fees can make a huge difference in the amount of money you make over time. And the last way that you can easily invest $200 per month would be to purchase individual ETFs, mutual funds, or individual stocks. I think stocks are the absolute most risky. And that video I mentioned earlier, I talk about the riskiness of an index fund versus a stock. If you decide to go this route, you can invest in something like Webull, Charles Schwab, Fidelity. Here's the thing, if you use the Fidelity app, you can purchase fractional shares. And what that means is, let's just say you wanted to buy a share of an S&P 500 index fund and currently trading about $260 per share. Well, if you only have $200 per month to invest, then you would not be able to purchase that share. And apps like Webull, for example, you have to be able to purchase the entire share. However, with Fidelity, they offer fractional shares. That means you can buy $200 of a $260 share. So instead of owning the entire share, you own part of the share. So that is another easy way that you can invest $200 per month. So I want to hear from you in the comments below. How are you going to easily invest your $200 a month? What are you most excited about? I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. It literally costs nothing and it does so much for this channel, and it pushes this video out to other people who are wondering what is the easiest way to invest $200 per month. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos on money, saving, and investing. Again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.